everyone, it's ActOutGames.com here, and today I'm going to be doing a bit of a book review of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. And this is a book that came out when we're filming this, like, a few nights ago. So I read it in about a day from when I got it, and it's actually a really good book. It was a bit weird for me because the book is written as if it was a script. So it's like Act 2, Scene 2, Harry and Ginny Potter's house, staircase. Harry wakes in the darkness breathing deeply. So it's written as if it is a script, and I don't write or read scripts very often. I always write and read things that are like a linear story, novel type written. So it was a bit hard for me to read, but actually after I got like into the story and could get past the way it was written, it was a really good book. And the whole premise of the book is it's next generation, which is always a really fun thing to play around with, is the next generation of your characters. So it's next generation. Harry's kid Albus Severus Potter is going to Hogwarts for his. It's kind of starts out with him going there for his first year, and he gets in this car and he has his cousin Rose Weasley, which is Ron and Hermione's child, and he ends up in a car on the train with Scorpius Malfoy, which is obviously Draco's child, alone with just him. And Rose decides to leave because it's kind of like a cool throwback to the Weasley thing in the first book where like Draco doesn't want to be friends with Weasley because he's one of the Weasleys. Rose doesn't want to be friends with Scorpius because he's a Malfoy. So that's how the book kind of starts out. And the relationship between Albus and Scorpius is really well written. And Harry wants to keep them apart because there's this prophecy that there's a dark cloud around Albus, and he thinks it's Scorpius because he's a Malfoy, and obviously he had some problems with Draco when he went to school. So he was trying to sweep Scorpius away from Albus, but then they end up sneaking together anyway. And their relationship is really well written, and they feel so natural to me, which is really kind of rare in a best friend relationship that's written. Like either they are like two sort of overly keeping it that everyone knows that they're just friends, and that like it's in like that perfect center between platonic and romantic, that it's like very, very, I guess to use terms like fluffy and nice and such a sweet relationship, but it's not as if the writer is very clearly trying to say that these people are just friends. And it's really great, and their relationship is so nice, and I could talk about their relationship for a really long time, so I'm going to stop myself now. And then there's Rose, who doesn't actually have much book time. I wish she had a bit more because I love Hermione and Ron, so their kid seems like really amazing. But Rose is really cool, and I think in the play she was played, Rose and Hermione were both played by Black women, which was really awesome. And I've always really seen Hermione as being a woman of color. So it's very nice to have that as an actual part of the book, which was really, really cool and nice as well. Rose doesn't get much book time, so I can't talk about her that much. But like the whole sort of center middle, like there's the beginning of the book where Scorpius and Albus get together, and then if I had to summarize the book very quickly, it is Albus gets a time turner. And then he ruins everything. So he goes back in time. He feels really, really bad for Cedric's dad, who talks to Harry once he sort of figures out that the Ministry of Magic has a time turner, an illegal time turner that they found. And he goes to Harry Potter and he's trying to say, please save Cedric, please save Cedric. And I felt really bad for him. And so did Albus. So Albus gets a hold of the time turner, and he goes back in time, tries to save Cedric, and then messes up everything because originally he's in Slytherin, which is also really cool that he's in Slytherin, and I'm glad my house is getting some love, some positive representation here. So then he's in Gryffindor, and Ron is doing something else, I forgot which, instead of running Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, and all this different stuff starts going on, and everything's like slightly different. And then he goes back in time and tries to do it again, and then everything gets messed up. Voldemort is now lived, and Dumbledore's army got defeated, and then the whole world is messed up. So he continues to mess up, and then he fixes everything, and ta-da, that's the book. It's a really, really interesting. I'm glad she played around with the time turner concept a bit more, because it was used in book 3 to kind of go back in time and save some people and blah blah blah. But it wasn't used. Like, it was a good plot device, but it wasn't used enough to make it very interesting and last throughout the book. Except here, it is the center of the book, and that was amazing, because I love time travel a whole lot, and I love how people are playing with, like, the butterfly effect and stuff like that. So it was really, really, really good. There were a few things that felt bad about the book. This might be a bit spoiler, so if you have not read the book, then stop watching here for me to kind of talk about the cons. So the first con is Scorpius is written to be sort of pining over Rose, but it feels sort of a bit like awkward to me, and I think it's supposed to. I think it's supposed to feel a bit awkward because it's like 2 11, 13-year-olds, and it's sort of a romance written between them. So I think it's supposed to feel a bit awkward, but in case that wasn't intentional, that's the way it felt for me. As well as at the end of the book, so this is definitely a spoiler, so at the end of the book, her name is, hold on, let me think, Delphi. Delphi is, like, revealed to be this, has, like, these big, crazy powers, and she definitely gets a bit into the overpowered zone there. Like, she ends up getting defeated, but she gets in this big, like, overpowered zone. I'm still afraid to spoil it. But she gets in this, like, she has all these powers. She can fly without a broom, and she doesn't have to have a wand to use her powers anymore, and she's very, very powerful and sort of flying around, and it's like, I think she's supposed to have powers, but it was a bit overdone because she was a bit overpowered there. But yeah, those are the cons of the book. Overall, it was a really good book, and as to be expected, it's a Harry Potter book. So if you haven't read it yet, give it a read. I read it very quickly. It should be a pretty fast read because the text is pretty decent sized in the book, as well as the way the script setting gives it a way where it doesn't is like a very good description, because it doesn't describe too much, but it doesn't describe a lot too. So it should be very easy to get through. It's really great. If you've read the book, then post your opinions in the comments below. I'd really love to talk to you guys about it. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.